I want to make sure I'm making contact with my backhand. The reason is because if I make contact with my lead hand, yes, he can shoot. Now I'm in danger. A concept to keep in mind when you're grappling with somebody or you're standing up is sword hand and shield hand. What do I mean by that? I don't know if everyone in here has played video games or everyone knows Nintendo, right?
Yes, Super Nintendo.
Exactly, right? Link from Legend of Zelda, his shield hand is on his lead hand, his sword hand is on his backhand. So keeping that concept in mind, guys, when we're making contact, we're reaching with our sword hand. So I'm going to look to get a collar tie. My partner is going to look to mirror me. He might reach with his lead hand. So all I'm looking to do right now to hit this slide by is I'm going to take my collar tie hand and get his ear to his bicep by just moving my forearm across his body here. And now, once I feel that connection, my free hand is just as if I'm looking at the time. It's going to look to bump him right under his elbow, guys. So my collar tie hand is making contact. He's going to mirror me. I'm looking to use my collar tie hand to take his head over to his bicep. All my free hand is doing is bumping him as if I'm, as it should look like I'm looking at the time, looking at my watch. I'm just going to look to bump him right underneath his elbow and turn my body, guys, here. At this point, you should have his back, and just keeping it real simple. We're just going to look to drag him down to the mat here. Again, in contact with my backhand, also referred to as my sword hand. Collar tying him. He's going to look to collar tie me back. I need to make sure I get his head connected to his arm. Free hand's just going to look to throw him by and bump him right underneath his elbow. I'm going to turn my body. I'm taking him over my collar tie, guys. Over my collar tie. At this point, I'm just taking him to the mat, keeping this claw tight and keeping control of my partner. Make sense? Sure. All right, we're going to stack that from there. Ready, ready, ready. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So first off, guys, when I collar tie somebody, I don't want to collar tie them and end up ear to ear here. I actually want to be head to head. Because if he collar ties me, man, I want space to snap his head down in, to move my free hand if I need to go off to another leg attack. If we're ear to ear here, we're real tight. And especially for this move, it's going to be ridiculously hard to do it. So guys, when we collar tie our partner, we want to make sure that we're head to head. So just keep that in mind. Also, please bend your knees. There is no sport activity that you do athletically that, you do with straight legs, okay? I see some people who are like this, not moving your feet, trying to do stuff, looks real awkward. Please bend your knees. Like Happy Gilmore, right? It's all on the knees, all on the hips, bend those knees, please. So, we're just gonna go over another variation of this. Same thing, reach with my collar tie hand, right? Also referred to as my sword hand. I get his head to be connected to his bicep. Now, opposed to bumping him and taking him over my collar tie, I'm going to use my free hand to go over the top to an over tie here. Still trying to keep his head connected to his bicep. And now my inside hand, guys, the one I'm waving at everybody with, is now my free hand. At this point, I'm gonna get a little bit of pressure. I'm gonna give him a little bit of pressure into him, and as he gets pressure, and as he pressures back, my free hand is just gonna slide him by. I'm gonna post right underneath his elbow and take him down towards the mat. So I give him some pressure, get some pressure back, and we're just looking to slide him by, guys. Another thing here too is you guys want to, after you take him down, you want to be tight here, guys. I don't want a bunch of space. I don't want to slide him by. Come here, Vince. I don't want to slide him by and not follow him and be like, oh shit, oh my God, where's he going? Where's he going? Like he's hitting the dash on me. That's terrible, guys. We gotta stay connected to him. So, like I was saying before, backhand's reaching. His other hand's gonna come up, looking to connect his head with his bicep. My free hand now, opposed to bumping him, is going to come over the top to an over tie, guys. We're being real heavy here, keeping our hands low. Pushing him forward, he gives pressure back. And at this point, we're sliding him by. Staying tight to him, guys. Okay?
He's definitely going to run from that position, so you have to follow him.
Yeah. So, guys, when we slide him by too, right? Think about it like you're getting water from a well. So opposed to just taking him straight across here, which is going to feel real awkward, acting like I'm getting water from a well, or like I'm shoveling here. So your pressure is straight down. Okay? One more time. It's like I have throat or something. Come on.
That's might tickle you.
Backhand's making contact, getting his head connected to his bicep. Free hand's coming over the top. It's an over tie. I'm pressuring in. He pressures into me. Free hand goes underneath the elbow and passes it by. Staying tight to him, guys. Maintaining back control. Okay? Let's work on it. Let's work on it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. First off, guys, a good time to go to this position is if you're trying to throw him by, right? That initial move we went over where we look to crunch and then bump him, and his head just keeps going off. Get your head off of your bicep. Off of his bicep a little bit. We're just going to use, we would use that over tie to reinforce that position so that it's easier to hit this slide by here. That's one thing. Another thing is when I have my over tie, guys, it should feel as though I'm reaching all the way over and trying to touch his jawline here. So that when I pull and compress my arm, you see his head, he has a hard time moving his head anywhere, and I can really keep him glued to that position. All right, so just to stack something onto this, so guys, like we were doing before, right, just adding onto the sequence, reach with my backhand, he mirrors that, I crunch him, right, I go over tie here, and opposed to sliding him by now, because just say, right, we've tried to slide him by a couple times, he's giving us a hard time, right? Instead, we're going to look to go post and go off to a single leg here. So, it's heavy on that collar tie. I have my over tie. I put some weight on it, guys. I look to drive my, circle real quick, Vance, so people can see. I look to drive my elbow towards the mat here. So there's a bunch of weight on my over tie, and I need to look to extend him here a little bit. So I don't want to do this super compressed right now, where Vance's elbow is pointed directly towards the mat. His arm kind of looks like a V. I want to do this more where Vance is extended here. If you're having a hard time extending the person, you can always use your inside hand, which would be your free hand at the time, to just post and extend them here. Now, all I'm looking to do is with this inside hand, guys, the one that I'm snapping, I'm going to look to pop right below the elbow, and then my top hand, which is also my over tie hand, is going to look to attack his leg. So we're here, boom, both hands to his leg. You good?
I'm alive.
Okay. So, reaching with my backhand, using my over tie hand to reinforce that position. I got some space now. And from here, my inside hand's going to look to post on his arm here and keep it into place, guys. We're not using this arm, this free hand, right, to raise his arm up as we shoot. We just want to keep it in place here. And at this point, we're pushing off that back leg and driving forward for that single leg. For some of my more athletic guys, if you want to, you can drop to a knee for this as you hit your single leg. So one more time, just adding on to that sequence. Reaching with my backhand, also my sword hand. I look to move around a little bit. I crunch him over to his collar tie. Free hand's gonna look to come over the top, create some pressure. I get his arm extended here. Inside hand, it's posting, and we're attacking that single leg. At this point, I can look to trip him. Woo. Or keep it real simple. Come back, Vance. Just point his knee down to the mat and climb up his legs to his hips. All right, let's work on it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just adding on to the sequence, right? A couple key details to keep in mind, guys. First off, get to that collar position. Yeah. we get that over tie here, guys, and we're looking to attack that single leg. Guys, when I'm going forward, right, I don't want to just drop straight down and grab here, right? I'm not just and grab it. I want to make sure I'm pushing forward here, guys. So that's why I'm saying push off your back leg and step into them here. Some of you are posting and just reaching here and then trying to run into them. Not gonna work. Your back is hunched, your butt is up, you look like Cardi B in a music video. It's a bad look. Don't do it. Okay? We want to make sure when you're going for that single leg, you lower your level and your hips are under you here and your head's up. So you can drive through them here. So, going on to the very last thing. So say we did everything correctly, right? We're looking like Jordan Burroughs on the mat, right? Just, oh my God, looks like we've wrestled forever. Boom, we go for that single leg. Now he starts to sprawl. Sprawl me there. At this point, I'm gonna look to let go and be in the seatbelt position, where I have an underhook and he has an overhook. So just circle for me there. Circle this way, circle this way. We'll end up here some of the times. From here, guys, especially depending on which, what type of angle you land on some instances, right, especially when we miss the leg, so come back real quick. Because he sprawls on us, or yeah, we'll end up damn near hip to hip already. Let me get a little bit closer. Boom, we'll damn near end up hip to hip here. And now we're fighting from the seatbelt position. All I want you guys looking to do when you're in the seatbelt position, right, and you're the guy with the underhook, is you're gonna look to go palm down as if you're thigh prying his far leg. And then you're just gonna look to run your legs behind the leg that's closest to you. So you're here, boom. You're just looking to get behind his leg. And at this point, guys, I'm looking to base wide, because if I'm narrow here, Vance is just gonna take me over. Vance, take me over. And now we did all that work for nothing. So, when we get into the seatbelt position here, right, I'm looking to get hip to hip. This underhook is going palm down off into a thigh pry, and I'm running my hips and my legs behind his leg that's closest to me, and I'm basing wide here. At this point, guys, even if he's real heavy with that overhook hand, that overhook hand, and my head is down to the mat, I'm still fine, guys. My free hand is gonna look to attack his ankle. I'm just gonna post that leg up. At this point, I just get some height. Woo, and just run into him.
There's nothing that can be done.
So, we try and hit that single leg. He starts to sprawl back. We end up in this underhook position where we have the seat belt on the mat. All you're doing is trying to get a little bit more hip to hip connection here. On the underhook side, palm down, thigh prying his leg. And you just pedal and get your legs behind the leg closest to you. Spread out here, guys. Also, another thing, guys, when you're going, don't have dead toes here. That's fine if you're just trying to get a little bit lower to him so you're able to shelf this leg. But usually you want to be on your toes so you can move around and you can look to wrestle with him and bully him a bit. So we're here, we're hip to hip. I'm back pedaling, looking to create that space. And at this point, I start to get up on my toes, driving forward, taking us back. One more time. Just stacking everything together now. My backhand's reaching. He mirrors me, right? I crunch him over. Free hand's going over tie, right? Everything we were doing before. I pop at his elbow, attack his leg. He looks to sprawl out. Boom, now we're in this underhook position. Keeping it real simple. Just going palm down here, off into that thigh pry. I can even use my free hand to help me drive into him a little bit so that I can end up behind his leg. At this point, guys, if he ends up super extended here, you can just lock your arms
Yes.
and keep walking.